In this lesson, we're going to identify the horizontal asymptotes, if any, of a rational function. FYI, you can have multiple vertical asymptotes, but there can only be one horizontal asymptote at most. So you're either going to have one horizontal asymptote or you don't have a horizontal asymptote. It's just one or the other. You're never going to have more than one if there's a horizontal asymptote. In this example, we're asked to give the equations of any horizontal asymptotes for the graph of the given rational function. So let's first take a look at the guidelines for identifying horizontal asymptotes. So let n represents the degree of the numerator and m represents the degree of the denominator. So if n is less than m, meaning if the degree of the numerator is smaller than the degree of the denominator, then your horizontal asymptote is going to be y equals 0, which is the x-axis. Now, if n is equal to m, in other words, if the degree of the numerator is the same as the degree of the denominator, then you're going to divide the leading coefficient of the top by the leading coefficient of the bottom, and that will give you your horizontal asymptote. The other case scenario is if n is greater than m, meaning if the numerator, if the degree of the numerator is greater than the degree of the denominator, then there's no horizontal asymptote. So let's take a look at the rational function we were given. The top out of all degrees, the highest degree there is 1. The bottom out of all degrees, the highest degree is 2. So the top has a degree of 1, the bottom has a degree of 2, and since the degree of the numerator is less than the degree of the denominator, by definition then our horizontal asymptote is going to be y equals 0. In this example, we're asked to give the equation of any horizontal asymptotes for the graph of the given rational function. So let's take a look at the degree of the numerator out of all the terms. The highest degree is a degree of 1. On the bottom out of all the terms, the highest degree is a 1. So that is going to be the case of if the degree of the numerator is equal to the degree of the denominator when n is equal to m, then you're simply going to divide the leading coefficients. So the leading coefficient of the top is going to be the 2x. The leading coefficient of the bottom is x, which is the same as 1x. So when we divide that, that's going to be 2 divided by 1, which is going to give me a horizontal asymptote of y equals 2. In this example, we're asked to give the equation of any horizontal asymptotes for the graph of the rational function given. So let's take a look at our degrees. So out of all the degrees in the numerator, the highest degree is a degree of 2. And out of all the degrees of the denominator, the highest degree is a 1. So we have 2, and on the bottom we have 1, which means this is top heavy. In the case where n is greater than m, the degree of the numerator is greater than the degree of the denominator, which means by definition there is no horizontal asymptote. And now it's your turn. I want you to determine the horizontal asymptote, if any, for the rational function without using your graphing calculator or without graphing. So go ahead and pause the video, and when you're ready to reveal the answer, you may go ahead and do so. Okay, so let's see how you did. Checking with the degree of the numerator, it had a degree of 2. The denominator there has a degree of 1. And again, this one is top heavy. Whenever the degree of the numerator is greater than the degree of the denominator, that means that you will not have a horizontal asymptote. So the answer is E. Okay, that's it for this lesson. Thank you for watching MVP Tutorials by your instructor, Dr. Speights. I hope you'll join me in the next lesson. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye for now.